Were you ever labeled as a sensitive child? You had too many emotional reactions, you had too many emotions. Maybe you cried a lot. Me too. Do any of you have, did you or do you have now anger issues? Maybe emotional constipation, the inability to cry? Yeah, right there with you. And thinking about this, it's like obviously a form of gaslighting, and gaslighting is not lying. Gaslighting is a systematic dismantling of your perception of your own reality. It's not only saying, no, this didn't happen this way, this didn't happen at all. It's also systematically planting that seed of doubt in your head about yourself, about your own perception of reality, of your own perception of your experiences. And, just thinking, realizing about, as an adult, like I had a couple of months ago, I had two parakeets. I had them for almost 10 years. And within quick succession, like a week in between, they both passed away. Anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely adore animals. I'm not so fond of bugs or reptiles, but anything with feathers or fur, I love them. And my husband, who had never, really been around at that point for like any like big grief moments or moments of upset, made a comment about, he's like, you seem to have no reaction, like about your birds dying. I'm like, no, it hurts me terribly. Um, and you want to cry, you should cry. Um, and the emotion wasn't there. The grief was, the pain was, but the waterworks switch was out of commission. It wasn't even attached. And thinking about, okay, past in life, one of my other videos I've referenced the fact of like nobody listened to me when I cried, but they paid attention when I yelled. I being beat or put down, I would cry, and even every person in my family, well, oh, stop crying about that, grow up. And I'd be being told to grow up while I was crying about something at like 5, 6. Okay, yeah, let's just hinder my emotions. Um, I was called too sensitive or a crybaby. Like, it doesn't matter anything that happened. Crying was a target on my back. Um, One instance, we had a stray cat that was coming around our house. We were feeding her every chance I got. I was outside playing with her. My nephew as well. We loved her. And my dad had come home one day, pulled in the garage, and ran her over. And my sister proceeds, as I'm crying, to sit there and say, oh, say, look at it, its head's crushed. Oh, look at it, it's bleeding out of its mouth. Oh, look at it, it's shitting all over itself, as like this cat seized out in front of me and died. Um, and showing how upset I was. And obviously, as a 12-year-old and as a human being, that was terrifying. That was gut wrenching. Like, that ripped my heart out. And my sister, seeing my tears and how much it hurt me, she dug deep. She dipped her fingers in gasoline and put them in the wound. And especially that correlates to the bird thing, is, oh gee, I show emotion, I show grief, I show upset, and it is preyed upon like I am bleeding profusely in shark infested waters. um And I want to say by probably 14, I stopped crying altogether. No matter how upset I was, it flipped to rage. Um, so anytime my feelings were hurt, or just in general I was hurting, I would just get more mad. I would get more irritable. Um, and I don't know, anger is really, it's a toxic byproduct of unexpressed grief. Listen again. Anger is a toxic byproduct of unexpressed grief. That's what it is to me. Everyone feels anger. Um, and it's a normal emotion. It's healthy to feel anger. It's healthy to express it as long as you're not screaming and yelling at people. Go scream in a pillow. Um, go to the gym and beat the shit out of a punching bag. Anger's okay. Everyone gets angry. But to the point to where, you can't control it. Like, even this is kind of cathartic right now, talking to, my computer screen, but hopefully some of you out there is that as I, for one thing, I lowered my grief, I started to like chip away at the grief inside of me. I became less angry. Just my general base level of anger dropped. I became less irritable. I became less hairline trigger with my anger. Um, and like even recently, and my lovely husband, my lovely, lovely man, um, he has been such a support and so great. And I think I've cried more in the 2 years we've been together, not for things involving him, um, than I have in the past 20. I mean, I've even cried tears of joy, which has never happened in my life. I have never been able to experience joy in that way, like that fully, to where I could express tears of joy. But then also, like, I didn't even feel safe crying by myself. Didn't even feel safe expressing emotion when I was alone. But then now it's like, okay, he's coaxing that out of me. And that's something that I could not fathom how to do. Um, but something that I had not experienced, for one thing, for a long time, was instead of someone shutting me out when I cried, they hugged me, they supported me. Um, Even if they couldn't help me, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me worse. Or if I were to cry because, I was upset with him about something, there would still be that support there. That, okay, yes, you're upset with me, but I'm still going to pay attention to your emotional reaction to it because it's valid. Versus, okay, I hurt you, and that doesn't make me like how I feel about myself, and I feel guilty and shameful, so I'm going to hurt you even worse for making me think that about myself. Narcissist 101. Um, and just, yeah, is I don't think I'm alone with that fact in, being that sensitive kid and having my emotions silenced, positive or negative, because I tell you one thing, you couldn't even be happy about something in my household. It could be, oh, I just won $1 million. Oh, well, don't get too used to it because you'll spend it up in a week. There was always something to rain on your parade. Doesn't matter what happened. Um, but kids that were silenced, their tears were ignored, grew up to be some angry ass motherfuckers, and it's not your fault. As an adult, It's your responsibility to deal with it and make sure you're not harming others with that behavior. But as a child, it is natural and so common to, you internalize these things, you internalize that pain, and there's nowhere else it can go besides, you know, popping your damn head off your shoulders and coming out like hot lava. So to end this video, if this sounds like you, and if you can relate, even just one person that I can relate to, or that can relate to me on this, I'm I'm completely happy and grateful. You're not alone. I'm not alone. No one that feels like this is alone. And that's part of the reason I'm here is let's talk about it, no matter how taboo, no matter how much people have shamed you for something, shamed me for something. We're going to talk about it because I am done with enablers and abusers silencing their, again, hate this word, their victims, the people that are exploited, that are abused, that are treated completely inhumanely. We should not feel shame for this. We should not feel shame for the past. We should not feel shame for things that were done to us. We did not do them, they were done to us. And I'm so sick of it being the societal norm that, the whole victim blaming thing is, why should people feel shameful for things they went through? You wouldn't, if someone got in a car crash, you wouldn't say, oh, well, you shouldn't have been driving when it was raining. No, you wouldn't. And it goes the same with any type of abuse, any type of interpersonal abuse. Um, yeah, that's the video.